Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Andre and this is my bike. Yes, my bike, not Dawn's bike, because you all know how Dawn likes to steal my bike. I would never do that to her. But today I'm going to do a fork lower service. Basically it's about changing the dust wipers that are here, changing the foam seals that are just underneath, and refilling it with oil, giving it a good clean down. So I'm going to start with my bike because I understand what needs to be done. Some of the things you're going to need is drop cloths are a good idea. If you have anything like a TV or anything valuable, cover it because there's going to be oil. You know, you're going to be tapping stuff. You need a dead blow hammer. This is the only one that I have. I have a other mallet, but I can use this to tap off. You need a pair of chopsticks. These are good for digging out the foam. A set of metric Allen keys. I think you need a 2.5 and a 5mm, but it's good to have a whole set because everything on the bloody bike is metric anyway. Brake protector, brake block, squeeze protector, so when you take your brakes off you can protect them in case somebody squeezes the handlebar. A couple of tire levers or like an open-ended wrench to pry these dust wipers out. The fork seal kit. Now this is the one for my Rock Shox SID Select from S4 Suspension in Montreal. $70 up to $105 depending on which dust wipers you get. So that's that. A set of gloves, simply because you're going to be dealing with brake cleaner and I really don't think you want to get this on your hands. Maybe a little rubbing alcohol to clean anything else down that needs it. And these blue shop towels because these guys don't shred like paper towels, so I prefer using this for this kind of work. We've got the shock unmounted. Couple more tools that I realized that we need to do that just to be smart. Use a shock pump to let the air out instead of just using a Allen key, because you don't want all that air coming blasting out the hair. There's going to be oil residue. Another thing I found is this is a Rock Shox SID Select, and the bolts are way down inside this. So what I'm going to be using is, I've got this, you can use, this is from my torque wrench kit. It's a long M5, but I have one of these little handle things that let you, tighten. If you turn this, it goes the other way. It's just easier to use this for now instead of using my torque wrench. So this is what we're going to use, and a couple of things we're going to record are, we're going to record the air pressure, and we're going to record, let's just start that right now. So there's pressure, there's compression, and there's rebound. So first what I'm going to do is, towards the rabbit, see rabbit, how many clicks do I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14. On the compression side, these shocks really don't have much. So I know which direction I usually point in. So what I'm going to do is just go back 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. And then I'm going to take off the air cap, and this is just as I said, a 50-hour service, not the 200 with the uppers and everything like that. Maybe do that later on in the season. Okay, so as I screw this in, there you go. This is at 80, 50, just under 80 psi. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, so I've got that information. Now, the only thing recording the PSI really doesn't matter, because when you get back on the bike, you're going to want to reset your sag anyway, okay? So to give you that 25% mark. So what I'm going to do is slowly let the air out, not one big mad rush. And one of the things that's recommended is that you clean off your fork. As you can see, I'm already starting to get all oily. from the grease. Okay, so that's essentially 0. And then I'm going to take a smaller Allen key and I'm going to press the release valve. I'm going to push my fork all the way down. There you go. Okay, we're back. So just to get set up, if you look down here, I've got my foam busy soaking up oil so they're nice and saturated. We've got the oil that these soak in that go back in the fork, slick oleum. We've got the syringe. It's actually a 12 ml syringe, but we need 10. The 2 new dust wipers and these little washers and seals. Up here, I've got the fork mounted with a bucket down below to catch any oil. I'm going to pull this glove off because what I'm going to do right now, I won't need this. So we've counted the rebound clicks. You pull your rebound adjuster out. Look at how dusty that is up inside there. So this is all going to need a really good clean. You reach in with your 5mm. It drops in and just 3 turns, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3. And then you got to separate these guys. Okay? So with your mallet or dead blow hammer, something with a soft end, okay? Hold the fork, couple of taps. And that should be, let's find out. Yep. Oops, forgot. You gotta take these bolts all the way out. Black, left. This is not your rebound. I bet you on this side it's gonna be red. Red for rebound. What do you think about that? I'm cheating. When I look up there, I can see red. Look at that, red. Okay, don't be afraid to put a couple of serious love taps on those bolts in there because it really behaves like they want to hold on. So what you got to do is pull. Once you get it out, sometimes it's tight. Once they release, tip down. And there comes all the oil. Now the idea is to give all of this a good clean. All right, so next trick is get some brake cleaner of choice. Spray it onto a cloth and give everything a good wipe down. Okay. I prefer wearing gloves when I do this kind of stuff because this brake cleaner stuff can be really corrosive. And if you're doing this indoors, I suggest you have a ventilation fan like I do, pulling all the air out of here so you can work without killing yourself. There she is, nice and clean. Okay, try to get the foam out of here. And I'm going to use chopsticks to do that. Here they are. Pretty dirty. This one again, just push it aside. Okay. And then the trick is to get these out. Oh, there's the little rubber, the spring that sits on the outside. I'm just going to keep that off to one side. So if you have an open-ended wrench or a very long blunt-headed screwdriver, it works a lot better at doing this because you want to be able to reach in here and just lever this out, and these just pop right out. Okay, same thing for this side. Just reach in, pop up. Otherwise they are rather difficult to get out. A quick look at what's down inside the head, just out of curiosity. So yeah, there's some oil. There's some oil. We'll get back to it. Yep, you can see the oil still dripping out. Oops. There it goes. Now, if you think I didn't watch a bunch of YouTube videos before doing this, you would be wrong. I watched quite a few YouTube videos just to get the technique. There is a specifically good video that goes through the entire 200-hour service. I'll probably put a link to it below because that guy's pretty thorough. He's doing a Rock Shox SID Ultimate, not the Select, but essentially it's all the same parts, more or less. So when I took a look down in here, it looked a little bit dirtier than, even though I got it clean with the brake fluid. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use this dowel, this paper towel, this rubber band, and let's put this down, and this rubbing alcohol to give it a little bit better of a clean. And one of the things I'm going to have to do is block this little hole here because I'm going to have to finger this. I'm fingering it. It's dirty. So I'm busy fingering the dirty hole, and I'm going to fill it with rubbing alcohol like this. And then essentially, and I'm going to let this out the bottom, and it's going to tell me just how much more cleaning I have to do. That was actually pretty clean. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, that's pretty clean. I'm going to take this paper towel, loosely wrap it on here like this. Rubber band. Use any size rubber band as long as it's snug to help you do this. Tear this back a little bit. You could also use a Swiffer mop, one of those little hand duster things. You know what I should do? Make sure it just wraps around the bottom here a little bit like this. Now I like to use shop towels because they don't come apart. Paper towels, oh, that's clean. So if you haven't quite got the stuff that's in here, it'll show up. I'd say that's pretty clean. One more spot to do really quickly to check. There's a little lip under here that I just want to get in, and there's no dirt there either. And I have found the cut on my fingertip. Okay, so now that I get my finger in here and I'm happy that I'm fingering a clean hole, I can move on. Okay, you take a look in there, you're looking for any real wear. I've got these 4 lines on either side. No idea whether that means anything or not, but I'm not seeing any scratches or dings. The bottom is nice and clean, no dirt. So I think we're good to proceed. Okay, so now we're just going to reassemble this, right? So I'm going to take these rings that have soaked up as much of this oil as was put in here. Actually, just a little bit of oil left. Okay. Make sure that they're sitting nice and flat. Okay. I've got these. These are the green SKF, I think. There's a spring on the inside and there's a spring on the outside. Apparently, these springs on the tops and the bottom sometimes come missing. So what I'm going to do is actually take them off and slip them on here, so they're out of the way. Okay, I'm going to do that for both of them, because when you're pounding stuff back on, you don't want to kink them accidentally. Now we're going to take a little bit of this slick honey. This is the slick oleum. Put a little bit on here. Okay, number 1. Put it on here like this. Okay. That's it. Get your tool. Put that on here. There we go. Right. And without pounding your fingers, you're going to put these in flush like that. Okay, then you're gonna take it this side. Oh shit, careful. Put your foam washer back in there. Get this all over your hands. And you're gonna take the paper towel and try to keep your hands from getting all slippery. Take your dead blow. There you go. Hold it. And get everything. Yeah. I'm going to just put some of this Slickoleum onto the dust wipers with a Q-tip, just simply because I ran out of gloves. Really don't want to get this stuff on my hands. So I'm just going to load this up like this. Nice. Go around the inside. Anything that's a little bit too much, I want on the inside, not the outside. Do the same thing over here. Okay. What I'm really going to do is go around like this. Okay. And we're going to come up here, making sure that this plastic piece, there's a side that's small, a side that's large. If you look at it, you can see it fits in to support this. Then we're going to slide these guys on carefully like this. Get them lined up. Pop these. Oops. Pop these on like that. What's really important when we get this on, you want to take a quick look at both sides and make sure that this little top lip hasn't folded in on itself, okay? And then just pull this up a little bit like this and stop. Because what you want to do is grab a flashlight and you're going to take a look in the end here, and you want to make sure you have enough room, which is what I'm looking at. The screws are almost right there, so I'm just going to pull these back down just a little bit like that, because I want to be able to get my syringe in to the end to get the oil in there. Okay, this syringe has a tip, but it has a lock ring, so if you're using you can buy these things off Amazon. Basically it's just a catheter to get stuff in and out. This really stops you from getting a good feeling of getting the tip into the end. So I'm going to just trim this off with a pair of wire cutters so that I only have this tip left. So as you can see, I've trimmed off the end of the syringe, and I'm going to use 7 mils. So I'm going to take this like this, drop this in here. I can feel that it's in, and I'm going to push it in. Exactly 7 mil. Put this back here. Drop this in here. Perfect. You're looking for the back here to make sure you put the right screw in. Red. Crush washers are on. Take this one like this. I have to make sure that I get this down enough so I can see the tips of the nuts. Use this. That one's nice and snug. Grab the black one. Same thing on this end. Tighten that down. Okay. Now apparently it's supposed to go to 7 Newton meters, so I grab my torque wrench. Takes this to just around 7. I'm just going to get both of these tightened down somewhat. Same. Okay, right there. 7 Newton meters. Click. Click. And that's it. Lower leg service. But one last thing. We're going to get these back on. And this is a bit of a pain in the ass, but use a little plastic tool like this. Get it on like this. Use 2 fingers to hold it. The trickiest part is that there's one There's the second one. And it's on. And there you go. Viola. One important thing to remember is you gotta get your sit. Oh, almost forgot the rebound. And just push this in. Make sure it clicks. There you go. So what I gotta do now is I've got to reset this to 14 clicks, and I've got to pressure this back up to about 80 psi. When you're riding first few times, this slick oleum is gonna kind of climb up here. You need to wipe it off so you don't pick up any dust and get it into the wipers so they don't have a hard time doing their job. And that's it. If you have any questions, drop in the comments below. I'm gonna put a link to the guy that does the 200-hour service. That was amazing. It helped me get this done. If you have any tips, pointers, I'd appreciate it. And as always, stress less, ride more, ride smart, ride safe. This is a bit of a pain in the ass, so it's not for everybody, but I hope I see you guys on the trails. Take care. Bye.